Okay, it's live. Yep.
Welcome to a fresh, simpler, new Facebook.
You have to log in and all that stuff.
I don't fucking know. Get started. I haven't been on Facebook in months. Switch to classic anytime. You can switch to the classic anytime. All right, so home. Come on. All right. Home. Okay, Andy West. There you go.
Make sure your volume's off on that.
On the computer? Yeah.
Yeah, those good loops. Yeah. It's the high-tech intro to the show, guys. Hi, how's it going?
Hold my beer, but don't drink it. A few seconds ago. All right. Now, how do I go to you?
Yeah,
I click on.
Whatever you saw the thing you just read, the hold my beer. Click on that.
Yeah. Well, it went away, so now I can't.
Yeah, just go to me. Go to my profile. Just Andy. It's facebook.com/AndySWest.
Oh, I'm just clicking on. I got your thing here. I just every time I click on it, it moves.
Oh yeah.
Can't hear you. Became friends with Jesse Calhoun, 3 other people. Andy West blasted again. Okay, I'm here. Okay.
Got my profile? Okay. Shouldn't. I don't think it says
profile.
Then this should be on the top of it. The live video should be on the top of it somewhere. Share your screen real quick and let me see what you're seeing.
I'm not looking at it on that. I'm looking at it on my laptop.
Okay.
Oh, I got you right here. I see it. All right. And
you saw the thing.
How much?
Yeah. Share your screen real quick and let me see what you're seeing.
All right.
How much delay? Yeah.
All right. So you're gonna roll the intro or?
No. I was gonna go without the intro this time. Just the high technical intro of getting everything working.
Oh,
it's a new thing in meta. I'm going really meta with this at this point.
And is there any chat on this?
Oh yeah. Chat will be appearing on your laptop. It'll be appearing just on right underneath the thing, basically. I don't know how to explain it. Oh, it'll be popping up on the here, it'll be popping up right here.
Okay.
I'll be popping up in a second. Let me see.
I got it.
Yep, that's what chat pops up.
You think you've heard conspiracy theories? Hold my beer, but don't drink it.
New thing in meta. I'm going really meta. Okay, turn it up. Volume off. Volume off.
Oh, I know. My volume's off.
Thank you.
So can we write a comment?
Let's see. Oh, okay. Yeah, GG's having some technical difficulties. She's gonna be late. Also got here again. Going, yeah. Okay, so how was your week?
I don't know. Give me gas. How's my week? I don't know. I didn't do anything. It snowed until Monday, and then we had a hard freeze both nights, like down to 20 or 19 freeze. I'm talking. So I was like glad I didn't put the potatoes in the ground till today. I was going to do them 2 weeks ago because it was like 70 2 weeks ago. So if it goes down to 32 and you get a frost, it's not going to hurt potatoes because they're 6 inches under the ground. But a hard freeze will fuck them up greatly. So anyway, so that was it. No, I basically laid on my bed and watched YouTube and porno, and tried not to watch too much TV because there's nothing out on at all.
You didn't watch Plandemic? Come on.
Didn't watch what?
Plandemic. This video came out. So somebody that used to work in former researcher that used to work in the same fields as like Fauci and those people, and he came out with this 20-minute video. Doesn't really do much other than make Fauci look shady, which he's shady as fuck, yeah. But like the whole journalistic world, and there's some massive campaign going to discredit the video. Like I've been going around just taking down the memes that people are going like, this is all the points, so it's been debunked. And then the word debunked means, oh, this is bullshit. I didn't read it, but I'm gonna say it, prove you false. But I've been going down, just taking it point by point, just going down the list of things that they say is wrong with the video, because the video's crap, but their attacks on it are just false. They're absolutely fictional and easily disprovable. So I've been doing that for the last few days, and then digging deeper into some other things, and I'm putting together a whole conspiracy theory, like a whole full one, of people, times, dates, everything. Because it's
I got to get you and John Cunningham together on this one.
What's he doing?
My guitar player,
Mhm.
God, he's never met a conspiracy theory he didn't like.
Oh, there's tons of them I don't like, but this is just blatant, like just blatant shit.
Yeah, you know, I mean, there's so much crap going on. Like have you heard about the Michael Flynn thing?
Yep.
I mean, yeah, and you know more than anybody the FBI can fucking.
Oh yeah, no, there's a reason why the FBI doesn't record their interviews with people. It's so they can get out of there and say whatever they want to. It's cheating. That's how they get everybody. You can either admit to the fact that you confessed to them even though you didn't, or you can say you didn't confess to them, plead not guilty, and then be arrested for lying to the FBI. That's how it works. That's the game they play. Dude, that got interviewed by two guys who were wearing Rolexes and shoes that were more expensive than more money than I would make that decade. And they're civil servants, yeah, of course. Completely corrupt, yeah, that's a given.
Yeah, they you know, if they were wearing Rolexes, they were probably knockoff Rolexes.
No, these were looking pretty serious, and these guys were, hey man, this is New Mexico. You're FBI, you let your things go by, you get paid well. Yeah. Same place I went to prison, the country club prison on the Mexican border where the cartel would drop off booze every night, come on.
Nice, well, if you got it. Hey, is this gonna stream on my Facebook, or how do I put it on?
You can put it on your Facebook. You can put links to it on your Facebook. Yeah, go for it.
How do I?
Just hit share.
Oh, so go to my Facebook and hit.
No, just go to the bottom of the little video screen you're looking at and hit share like you would normally on Facebook. Share. Yep.
Share. Share now, friends.
Okay. Yeah, share public, whatever.
Share to it's share. So right now on my timeline, it's going live.
No, it's not going live. It's just a link to it.
Oh, okay. Well.
Yeah.
But it says we're here live.
Yep. Right. No, we're live, and it's just a link to it. I gotta send out some links too here, but no, I was just gonna go over like some of it because I've actually been documenting. I had to go backwards in time, like all the way back to like 1999 to figure out where this whole thing started.
Oh.
But it's pretty clear that basically the option is like Bill Gates, you know, the savior of the universe now, the non-medical expert that's getting all the medical advice and planning everything. In 1999, 2000, in 2000, April 3rd, 2000, he got his first that was when the first verdict of Microsoft's monopoly came out. And he realized he wasn't going to be able to conquer the world using that company because it basically played it out. I mean, he's got, if you ever look at the court records for that case, there's 10 years of just absolutely brutal gangster style tactics, all of them which are illegal to make a monopoly. They're crushing every competitor, doing everything they could, and illegally, globally, illegally, like global criminal network, to get to the point that they were. And the judge slapped him on the wrist and said, "You're going to be you're a monopoly. We have to stop this." And he appealed it, and it went through for a couple more years. But once he got that first verdict in, he had a change of heart and found Jesus, and decided that all of his power-hungry, weird-ass, fucking greedy ways, he changed. And he started the William Gates Foundation, which then became the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, which is the largest private foundation in the world and in history, like $48.5 billion in assets for a nonprofit. But and he started getting into the vaccine business. And you could say, yeah, he found Jesus. He decided to save the world rather than do his old ways. But every single year, I mean, there's points where like 150, 200 charity organizations are coming together to protest at the UN, protesting him and his globalization, corporatization of aid. Like he's totally monopolized aid.
Yeah.
And so he has $48.5 billion in assets in a nonprofit organization. And it's insane. Like, it's literally insane. The number of complaints they've had, the number of times they've been up. But since it's a nonprofit and it's not a business corporation where you can be busted as a monopoly, nobody's doing anything about it. And he's also because he can buy anybody he wants, really. So that's kind of the genesis of all this. The beginning of it is his realizing that he wasn't going to get anywhere with software and might as well go with vaccine. Power hungriness.
Well, yeah, and now there's a whole thing about the vaccine. Nobody really wants to, say that, oh, we have to make it mandatory vaccines for everybody. They want to give people who, like Oklahoma. I was just watching another live stream. Everybody who's gotten the vaccine will have a metal bracelet on, so it's like, why don't we just get a big fucking red letter?
Yeah, big gold star, big red letter, what are any of those things? Yeah.
Right, that says COVID on it, like Juden or Scarlet Letter.
They're also planning on putting it in with microchip, but basically, like, they're calling it invisible ink, but if it's an ink that doesn't register on the visible spectrum, it's radioactive or something else, very similar. They want to do that so you can keep your shot records, which cannot be good for you. But no, the whole thing is, like vaccines are great. I mean, one of the greatest inventions of mankind of all time. They're incredible, but they're being run by the most pernicious industry in human history. I mean, Big Pharma has to bribe our federally elected politicians every year with at least $800 million. That's split between 600 dudes. That's twice as much as oil and gas do. And oil and gas are literally causing the extinction of the human race and killing the planet. If Big Pharma is giving them twice as much money, what are they getting out of it?
Well, you know, and that's the thing. Follow the money anywhere you want to go. It's really, you know, I mean, just driving around, it's gotten to the point where we are in fact and actuality owned.
Oh yeah, no, we've been owned forever. We've been owned for a long time. It's just, now it's blatant. Things haven't gotten worse. Just the knowledge is out there. The information is out there. And people can access it now.
Yeah, but the thing is, most people are too stupid.
No, okay. most people, they're programmed. They're indoctrinated. It's like, it's your personality. I can tell you basic tenets about a person's personality just by asking which news program they keep on to keep them company.
Yeah, well,
No, it's true. It's true. Literally, everybody. Like, these are basic. They're being programmed. They're being emotionally manipulated every day. So these things come out in programming. They come out in symptoms of programming. Everybody who watches Fox is pissed and oppressed. Everybody who watches CNN is bloodthirsty, wants war. They're the people that say, "Oh, we got to go to war. Eventually, we're going to have to go take care of them. So why don't we just do that now?" We don't have to go take care of anybody because it's murder. It's against international law. We don't have to be bombing anyone. We don't have to be doing any of this shit. We just are doing it. It's programming.
No, and you're absolutely right. We don't have to be bombing anyone. Like you look at both Gulf. I mean, you look at Desert Storm and Shield, and then this whole fucking shit that's been going on.
The war of terror. It's just a war of terror. Just call it what it is.
Okay, war on terrorism.
No, of terror. This is the war of terror. We're the terrorists.
If we hadn't been sitting there sucking the balls of the goddamn Saudis, we'd have never got into this situation. Why are we sucking the balls of the Saudis? Because they got the oil. Why does the UAE have indoor ski slopes? Okay, it's 120 degrees, okay, in their country, and they have built indoor mountains with real snow.
Yeah.
So you got these UAEs. I don't even know what the Emirates you would call them?
The United Arab Emirates. Yeah, people are also genocidally attacking Yemen right now. Yes.
Yeah. So, yeah. You know. So screw them. They had all the oil. You know, but they are incapable of self-governance. So what do they need? They need us to protect them.
No, it's not that they're incapable of self-governance. This is just a form of colonialism. That's all it is. If they're not incapable of self-governance, they'd be fine if we didn't always, basically anytime anybody goes off the petrodollar, anytime anybody wants to do anything, and this is going back since before World War I, we've been carving up first England and now America, carving up the Middle East and putting small minority groups in power and corrupting them to oppress the larger groups so that we can have our puppet dictators. And that's what we do. That's what it's all we're interested in. We put Saddam in, then we took him out. We put the Shah in, then he got taken out. This is what we've been doing for so long. It's not that they're incapable of self-governance. It's that they've never had the opportunity. When they do get the opportunity, we bomb them. It makes it really hard. We wouldn't be able to self-govern if people we wouldn't be able to self-govern if people were bombing us every time we tried. Literally.
Well, look at the first Gulf War, right? Mm-hmm. Did you really care that freaking Iraq invaded Kuwait? Did you even know who the fuck Saddam Hussein? Well, you probably.
I knew who Saddam Hussein was, but I didn't give a fuck. Sandy Berger, the Secretary of State at that point, had already signed off on, because Saddam asked our permission to invade, and we said, yeah, it's not a problem. We have no opinion on inter-Arab disputes. Do whatever you want. And the moment he did it, we went, oh, now we have an excuse to do this. Yeah, that's
right. But the problem was we didn't give a shit when he invaded Kuwait, but when he said, okay, now I'm going to go into Saudi.
No. He never said that. He never said that. You saw it. Dick Cheney came out with literally fake radar images showing a buildup of troops on the Saudi border. That's where we went in. But the Russians at the same time had their spy satellites, and they were producing the same photos without all the tanks photoshopped into them. It's not. He never said anything about Saudi Arabia. He never said a damn thing about Saudi Arabia. There's nothing on tape or anywhere. He never said I'm going to take Saudi Arabia. We presented that as something he was saying, threatening, and then we gave fake pictures in front of the UN, kind of like when Colin Powell held up this is anthrax thing in front of the UN. We did the same thing then, but she was Cheney in the position then doing the lying and saying, these are our satellite images. You can see it's mobilized towards Saudi. He's going to attack Saudi Arabia. I don't give a fuck if they attack Saudi Arabia. Fine, do it. Whatever, who cares?
Nobody would have given a shit if they went into Saudi. I mean, for me, it's just one bunch of freaking Arabs killing another bunch of Arabs, and the more of each other that they kill, I'm probably going to be a happier person. Okay. Yeah. Because there's less of them to hate and people like me. And at the time of the
but saying that, you have to realize there's a reason why they hate you. There's a reason why they hate you. There's a reason why we've been empowered Wahhabists and Mujahideen in that region. Those are the people that hate us and want to blow us up. We're the ones who write the textbooks. We print textbooks still that we send to Afghanistan to talk about how great it is to kill the imperial invaders. The same books we made for the Soviet when they were facing the Soviets, we're still printing and sending them the books, dude. And the Taliban is still running 9 out of 12 districts of public schools. That's how fucking stupid it is. We're just making our own enemies so we can justify our own war budget. So saying blow them all up, no. Let them do whatever they want to because they have the right to do whatever they want to. It's their country, it's their rules, it's whatever they want to do. And we are the last people in the world that can say anything about, hey, you shouldn't be invading another country because that's all we do nowadays.
I was in my dad's barn, and you want to talk about finding some old shit, okay? I found one of my history textbooks that I used to read, or that we had when I was in 2nd grade.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the history of the history books have now been rewritten, or actually, then maybe they didn't know what the fuck they were talking about. They called Muslims Moslems, Moslems.
Yeah.
Okay, and they were saying, oh, Lebanon, it's the land of milk and honey.
Mm-hmm. It was. Did we fucked it up?
Right, well, or somebody did. I don't know. I mean,
we did. Yeah, it was us.
And I don't even know if it's the U.S. at this point, because there's got to be somebody bigger pulling the strings. Why does everyone hate Trump? Because he's not with them. He's not New World Order.
Don't fall for the Jellian dialectic, man. It's not thesis, antithesis. There are many sides to things, but all the parties can be controlled by the same group. Money, just money. It's all it is.
Well, that's what it is. It's the New World Order run by the World Bank and the Rothschilds.
Yeah, no, it's been that way. It's been that way since our founding. Yeah,
you know. So, I mean, it's really easy. Then you get some outsider, a boisterous asshole.
You really think Trump's an outsider?
I mean,
God, man, why is he an outsider? Why? How does he qualify?
Because he wasn't in the political system.
But it didn't have to be in the political system. He's in the money system. He's in the real estate system. He's in the money laundering system. It's all the same system. Right.
And who's the biggest real estate and money launderer in the world is the World Bank. Oh, the U.S. government, the European.
No, actually, no. It's the British royal family and the Vatican are the two biggest landowners. Yeah.
Probably them, but they've all got to get. So it's all about them controlling us. Okay. That's why they've disarmed most of the world's population, so we can't fight back. We're happy with the little crumbs they throw us. Now I'm sitting here going, little crumbs they throw us. I have a $10,000 Marshall lamp sitting in my corner that I haven't turned on in 2 years. Okay,
well, you're doing better than most.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, that's the spoils of our going along with our foreign policy. When America's going along with it.
Well, it's like, okay, look, we'll let you have a union, and unions.
No, they didn't let us. They did not let us have unions. We fought for those fucking things like mad, and then as soon as we got them. We gave them up. We fought for those things.
And who started the unions? The rednecks, okay? They called them rednecks because they ran red bandanas around their necks.
Yeah,
they showed up with guns and they fucking shot up some coal mining company. And a lot of
those were rednecks. Those were miners, and that was in Colorado. That was the revolt. And there was veterans from World War I who'd all become miners. They were broke to the company store. They decided to argue about it, to say they didn't want to pay the company store, and the National Guard called in on them. So they beat those guys up, took their guns, took out the next platoon that came in at them, the next battalion that came in at them, and just they had a defensible position. They kept until they actually had pull, until they actually had enough power at that point to make demands, and they did. And that started it. But also the auto workers are getting their heads knocked in strikes. There's the history of the labor unions is amazing that they actually kept going. But it sucked so bad before then, and that right there, it sucks so bad because that is unfettered capitalism. That is capitalism doing it what it does, squeezing profit out of anything. That's what it does. If you want to fight back against the kind of power, you have to fight back against it. Going any one direction all the way is stupid. Unfettered capitalism, communism is stupid. Balanced shit. We've done it before.
Well, look, I was on strike 3 times with the phone company. Okay, and
that was not during the labor fights.
Verizon management actually ran over and killed one of our members, this guy named Jerry Horgan. Mm-hmm. And, maybe he, knowing Jerry, he was probably standing there drinking a cup of coffee or Jerry drinking a beer and smoking a cigarette on the picket line. But anyway, they just pulled up. They didn't give a shit. They ran this guy over. It was some manager's daughter they brought in for the strike, it was a summer replacement. this was back in the olden days, you know, the 218-day strike back in, I don't know, I think it was like 89 or 9. I think it was maybe 90. I don't know. Anyway, so regardless, they're like, okay, we were on strike, and they're like, well, we're going to give you more money. And we're like, okay, we're not asking for more money, and so everybody, Verizon or Bell Atlantic or whatever company we were on strike against is saying, oh, they just want more money. And I mean, the last time we went out on strike, we were just trying to keep the retirees' health care benefits. Mm-hmm. So we were out on the street walking for the guys who had retired, but they had been there to pave the way for us. And I mean, we got totally screwed on the last strike I was on. There was a strike after that, and this is after I got my settlement and everything like that. But we lost so much. The union lost so much, and I'm not going to go after Obama, but it was once the Obamacare shit fucked the people it fucked most was the union guys. We got screwed. I never had I had a $5 copay when I started, and we never paid a weekly premium for our health care. It just came. That was it. We went to the doctor. It was $5.
Yeah, that would be like what Medicare for all would be like. Yeah.
No, Medicare for all would be more like Medicaid, which, believe me, I'm very familiar with. And Medicaid, it doesn't cover shit. Okay? It doesn't.
It does. I'm on it. It's on it. It does.
It doesn't. It covers 80%.
No.
And then it's up to you for the other 20.
No, it's not. It is the trans stuff. I paid for the trans stuff, but any other things wrong? Like I was in the hospital for 6 months last year, dude. It was covered.
Well, you also have 2 kids, though.
Yeah, I have 2 kids. Yeah, but no. What I'm saying is we need to take it the way that they have set up for this and do it like every other civilized country in most of the third world, because our present system does not work at all. We have iatrogenic deaths has been the 3rd leading cause of death in America for 20 years now. But this year, 2020 will be the year at the end of it all when the deaths are done. #1 killer of people is going to see your doctor, and nobody's going to see their doctor now either.
That's the thing. Nobody can afford to go. I can't afford to go. See, I have the Medicare, but I don't have any children. Okay, so like one of my friends, one of my guitar players in one of my bands, him and his wife and his 2 kids get free. He can get anything he wants. There's no co-payment, no deductible, no nothing. They just walk in, plunk down their Medicaid card because they are a family of 4 and they make less than I think it's like $56,000 now. For a single person for Medicaid, it's $18,000. Okay.
I mean, for me, it's like $24,000. Like I have the 2 kids. So I'm just shocked. I'm shocked that I got it because I don't never get anything else for the kids. They just always go, somebody else is claiming them or whatever, blah, blah, blah. You can't claim them. They're trying to raising 2 kids. You don't believe in it. But for some reason, this one thing worked. And I just filled it up. I filled it out as just because I was filling out something else.
So the whole healthcare thing, I could have solved it in 5 minutes when they brought it up. Okay. Leave everything the way it was with employers. They should have just expanded Medicaid.
Yeah,
that's all they should have done was expand Medicaid. Instead, they revamped the entire system. So now I had to pay $150 a week for health insurance. I know everybody's like, "Oh, poor baby had to pay $150 a week." But like we said, we were in a union. We went on strike. We fought. We got ran over. We got shot at. We got beat up by fucking.
You got fucked by this, but look, it's
Yeah,
Obamacare got more people insured with horrible insurance. It doesn't really cover anything, anyways.
Right.
It was a giveaway. It was literally like he had the mandate from the masses. He had the people. He had the popularity. He had a super majority in both House and Senate. So this is the crap he came up with because he was never going to do anything for the people. They don't do anything for people. They never do. What are we on the 4th now? 4th stimulus package. This one will finally have something for the people until they actually vote on it. In which case they'll say, "Don't worry, your stuff will be in the next one."
Well,
they gave them $1 trillion. $1 trillion to the population. It pretty much solved most everybody's problems. But no, they'll give out another 5 to some corporations and allow them to take everything else that they say is for the people, and they won't give out shit to the people. They won't give out anything.
Well, this last one that got shot down yesterday, I mean, they were like, they keep putting in their freaking pork for their little pet
They knew it was never meant for compromise. It was never to pass. It was her just showboating, saying, "Now we're doing stuff for you, but we're also going to make it so that bubble." Yeah, it's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. I agree. And I'm on the left, but these people are not on the left. These people that are doing this shit are
they're not
right. Neither new liberals. And the right and the left has got to realize one of these days that they're fucking us both, and we both have basically the same goals, just different ways of getting at them.
You know what? It's either they're all being controlled and they're part of this new world order shit,
or they're just greedy, petty shitheads with short-sighted issues.
Right, or it's like a Men in Black thing where we've truly been invaded by fucking aliens.
No, none of this requires any it doesn't require Illuminati, it doesn't require anything big going on. All of our politicians are out for one thing, themselves. They're short-term greed. They're not looking at the big picture. They're saying, what can I get right now for this? What can I get right now for me? These guys have paid me in the past, and now I owe them. How do I get to pay that debt back? It's like Bush Senior owed the Saudis. That's why he went to war with their number one threat.
Exactly. Well, you know, if this country had been producing oil like it should have, we've never got we got under their thumb because they were providing us this fucking drug.
No. You're still viewing this as a benefit of all Americans. No. Bush was literally given money in cash from the Saudis, like personally, not.
It wasn't to the benefit of all Americans.
No, it was one benefit to one family. The Bushes. Bush Senior, after he was in Dallas that day on the CA with the sniper crew, wonder why they were there. After that happened, he got paid by the Saudis for his entire lifetime. They're rich. The Bush family are rich as fuck. How did they get rich as fuck? How does any politician get rich as fuck? They all do. They all go in with like $40,000 in the bank, debt broke, and by the time they come out 8 years later, rich as fuck. That's the way the system works.
And they're also entitled to quite a bit of information that the ordinary person.
Oh yeah, like the stock market shit. Yeah.
You know. So and you saw what happened with Barbara Boxer. I mean, she was the only Democrat. I'm not saying the Republicans. There was more Republicans. You know, Barbara Boxer, I think, was the only Democrat who, when this COVID beer virus, whatever, because we're on.
It's SARS-CoV-2 is what the name of the virus is. COVID-19 is a medical designation for the way people die, which doesn't necessarily involve SARS-CoV-2. And coronavirus is just a type of virus. There's millions of them. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Coronavirus is basically like a common cold type of thing, but it's
many other like it's basically any of these viruses that are single-stranded RNA. They can go from an animal to a person. That's basically what it is. It's a family of them. It's a genus. So there's lots of them.
It's actually what's known as a retrovirus.
This isn't a retrovirus. This is not a retrovirus. Huh?
Well, when it starts changing DNA, it does. But
that term cracks me up because he first came up with it for AIDS. Because one of the guys in the lab, they've been calling it a retrovirus in the lab because they've been calling it a retro-engineered virus. And he accidentally slipped up and said it, and they had to come up with this whole story about how, it writes to the DNA. It doesn't do it retroactively. What the fuck are you calling it a retrovirus? They made this shit up just to cover up one big flub.
Okay, so
kind of like programming.
I don't have my microbiology textbook sitting on my. I've got
3 of them in front of me right now. Yeah.
I found so many of my old books going in my dad's barn, and I was looking for my records, and I just found these old books, and I started looking, and I was like, this is so messed up. It's like the stuff we learned when we were when I was in school, because I was in school a few years before you.
Yeah, a couple years.
And the funny thing about New York City, as progressive as New York City thinks it is, they were doing all the progressive shit upstate and the country, and like in New York City was still in the 70s. We were still getting a 1950s education.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Still are today too.
Well, but it's now it's been altered to really focus on a narrative. I was just watching the high school graduation thing. Did you watch some of that on TV?
No, what are you talking about now?
It was on every channel. I mean,
I don't watch TV for a reason.
Right. Well, I was hoping you would have called me or texted me and said, "Hey, get ready." I mean, I'm sitting here in my pajama pants and a shirt that smells like ass that I picked up.
Sorry, pretty baby. I didn't realize you had to get the makeup on and the hair done.
Well, no, I had just gotten out of the bathtub. I was laying on my bed. I'm so sore from digging fucking holes in the ground, putting potatoes in.
But we're calling it now, huh?
Oh, yeah, right. Well, I was with 2 guys too, so yeah, I was getting.
Yeah.
I was digging holes in a cornfield, which is almost the same as getting cornholes. So.
Exactly. Basically, you're the giver, not the receiver. You're the pitcher on that one. Yeah. But you had to pay them, right? That's probably why they were receiving.
I like to consider myself versatile. Okay,
That's good. Yeah.
You know,
I'm not mocking you. I'm just saying it sounds like what you're doing.
I don't
Mike,
like either.
I don't judge.
So, I know you don't judge. Come on, you're talking to me. So you know, just the whole thing with the Flynn. It's the level of corruption now is so far off the charts that we really do need like a major like civil disobedience or civil war, civil
disobedience. Yeah, that's not going to do anything but get us maced in the face, man.
I was going to say civil upheaval.
Yeah, civil uprising, populist uprising. Yeah.
Obama was saying we were going to, whatever, remake America. We need to remake America, but not that way. We need to like start from fucking scratch. Okay?
Yeah, no, the establishments and institutions are too corrupt at this point to be salvageable. There's no electoral, judicial, or legislative way to fix any of this stuff because it's completely rigged. As you can see, it's completely rigged. There's nothing you do. Your votes don't count. Your votes don't matter. They're going into black box machines. I like how Lee Camp puts it. Voting in America. What would happen if if at the fourth quarter of the Super Bowl, all of a sudden, lights go off, everything goes dark, your TV set goes blank. Now you wait 15 minutes, and they come back out, and one referee comes out at the end and goes, yeah, the Patriots won. It was 15-16, and walks away. What do you think Americans would do if that happened for any sporting event? Fucking Little League, if they did that. Or Little League, just shut off everybody from seeing the scores, and then came back and said, this team won. What do you think Americans would do in that situation? But that's exactly how we set our electoral system up.
Yeah,
you vote. Well, then there goes a machine. It may be counted, may not be counted. Every time they audit them, they come up bad. Chimpanzees can fucking hack them. Literally, they had a chimpanzee on TV once hack them. Because the chimpanzee could hit the button to hack it. They're built for hacking. So why do we have any faith in the system?
Well, I don't have because it's so stacked. Against. I mean, it's stacked against us, obviously.
Yeah, no, they control all the candidates running, and then they still. They still rig it for the one candidate they want to win, but they're controlling the opposition, and the thesis and antithesis is just a fake Hegelian dialectic and everything. Everything's a binary, good, bad, this, that, us, them, and it's all fake because everything is actually myriad sides. Nobody has all one or all none anything, and they do control all the candidates. Look at all the way the Dem primary happened. Last time they rigged it all for Hillary by just ignoring anything else other than Hillary, having no debates, rigging the voting machines, and giving the second most unpopular candidate in history the nomination.
Well, yeah, and is that somebody binging in?
No, that was Ginger sending me something right now. I think she's having technical issues that I can't solve for her.
Oh, anyway, so regardless, I mean, look at what just happened in California. They turned a seat back into red, a blue seat red, and this is even with like mail-in voting and all that stuff. Really stacking the deck in their favor, and they still lost because right now people are so fed up with the status quo and shit that's been going on. And we've been believing and having faith in this fucking bullshit lie we've been told for so long that people are now like, oh well, the blue guy isn't going to win anymore because we know he's full of shit, so let's just try something else. And I really
it's the same. He's just spin. It's the same person, same people controlling him, paid by the same people. They're in the pocket of the same people. So both the blue and the red are both working for the same team. They just yell at each other in public to make us all polarized because that way they don't have a revolution. They have a civil war, and a civil war would be bloody as fuck, and they know it. We'll kill ourselves off before we get to them. Whereas we need to go. No, wait, I'm not. Like my friend Jeremy Phillips, friend of mine. He's right wing as fuck. We don't agree on a lot of things. But we agree on the really basic important things. But if this becomes a civil war, we're going to end up killing each other. And there's no reason to. We should be going together to go kill the people that are actually the problem. Go find the enemy. But they polarize it so much, and people just buy it. People buy into the bullshit. And it's programming. It's television programming. Sorry, but we're told all day long what you believe, and it's just said over and over and over again. It's so banal and so just inundating that people believe it after a while.
Well, look at the protests that happened, over the last week or so. The guys with guns in Michigan showing up. And then walking into the one place, they walked into the state capitol with loaded AR-15s, straight finger, hand on the pistol grip.
Yeah.
Cops standing there with masks on. It would have been, now, God forbid some idiot would have touched one off by accident, You know, that would have been it. That'd have been the shocker around the world.
Yeah, they had them. So like everybody's like everybody. And I actually played devil's advocate in this because a bunch of my friends were saying, "Well, what do you imagine if those people were black or anything else?" I'm like, "Well, if they had that many guns and that many people, they'd have gotten the same reaction." Because Waco were white people. They got burned out. They were on television. Every attempt to surrender for 52 days was refused, and then they were burned alive on television. The cops have never had a problem burning poor people. They burn poor people down. They when in doubt, burn them out as a union slogan. It's what they've always done. Now, yeah, they do hunt black people for sport on the streets because these white people don't get up and go get up to the cops for doing it. They go support them and say, "Oh, blue lives matter." It's not a blue life. It's a fucking shirt. You can quit your job. You can quit the steroids. It's not a fucking life. It's not a thing. But no.
Well, okay, blue lives should matter is what it should say.
Blue lives should not. Okay, a few bad apples do. What do a few bad apples do?
What?
What do a few bad apples do? We've been hearing for years about the few bad apples, just a few bad apples. What is the whole cliche? Say the whole cliche.
A few bad apples don't spoil the whole bunch.
No, do spoil the whole bunch. Few bad apples spoil the whole bunch, and that's not an old cliche to be cheesy. That's a caveat. That's a warning, a cautionary tale. If you allow some of them to get away with murder, eventually they'll push all the good ones out, and you'll have just bad cops.
Well, that's what's happened with the police.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
that's what's happened with them.
Because nobody knows what a whole cliche anymore. Nobody knows. Like when Philips first came out with the flat screen TV set, they used the Beatles song "Got to Admit It's Getting Better all the time," and then they cut off the last part because they wouldn't say it couldn't get much worse.
Get much.
People don't know the whole line.
I was thinking about the Jackson 5 song. One bad apple don't spoil the whole bunch, babe.
But it does.
No, it's true. I mean, I talk about potatoes. I opened up one bag of potatoes today of seed potatoes, and a few of the potatoes in the one bag had some rot on them. Mm. But this one bag, I mean, half of the potatoes, well, half of the potatoes had rot on them. Mm-hmm. Okay, so but we could salvage like half the potato. Okay, but a lot of the potatoes were so rotten they were just like turned into mush. And the guy working for me today is great. His name's Gordon. He picked one up and he threw it, and it just like disintegrated when it hit the ground. Yeah. And I'm like, I was like, and they weren't. Well, I didn't really inspect them too much when I got them, so they must have started rotting over the last few weeks because they weren't in the ground.
People do that, yeah.
But I understand what you're saying. The cops now, one, because they're college cops now too, which is, I was talking to this guy. He's a professor in Suco. We were at a cocktail party, and he was standing there, and he says as the academic professors, we have been doing this all wrong. We want cops to be cops, okay? So they wanted everybody's like, we want this kinder, gentler, whatever, not machine gun. Well, I mean, I'm just saying kinder, gentler, Neil Young song. I should quote Neil Young, but the guys like cops need to be cops. The thing is, the cops now are under control of the politicians. Now the thing is, the cops, they got a pension, they got a paycheck.
They have a union that protects them from all consequences.
They got a union. So
that's right. That's one thing. That position, in a position of power, you don't need a union at that point. Sorry.
Actually, police shouldn't have a union. I mean, yeah, they should have some type of, okay, we're going to make sure.
They do. They all have guns, and they can take over the city anytime they want to. They have enough power. They don't need more collective bargaining.
I got to tell you, the cops, if every cop in New York State decided they wanted to take over the state, they would be quickly defeated by the number of angry gun owners in this state.
No, because most of the angry gun owners will back them. A lot of them will.
The state police, I think, has only 3,000 guys.
New York City's got what, 40,000 cops? Something like that. Something insane. They're the fourth largest army in the world. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, the NYPD is really bad. I was gonna be a New York City cop. And I said, fuck it. I got a job with the phone company upstate. Why do I want to be a cop in New York City? I could have got on the New York State Park Police, but at the time it paid pretty shitty, So, and I was working in federal prison at the time, and I was just like, okay, well, I'm here making $16 an hour, all right? Can you imagine? That's what we were federal. They were paying us $16 an hour. I said, I go work for the phone company. You're going to pay me $25. Phone company gets like a 3% raise every year.
Yeah.
Okay, the federal government had raises on hold for years and years and years.
I think they still are.
Plus, I was a white guy in the federal prison system, so chances of me going up the ladder weren't very good. I mean, making it to lieutenant, I probably could have if I'd stayed for 20 years, but getting any higher than lieutenant, I was, you know, and I was told this by what the HR guy. He's like, you know, what's your plan here? I said, you know, what's your long-term plan working for the Federal Bureau of Prisons? I said, I want to be the warden. And he just looked at me, he says, you'll make it up maybe to 9 lieutenant or 11 lieutenant. He says, but you won't get any higher than that because you're not a minority and you're not a woman. And I looked at it, in the whole system, there was only one white guy warden in our footprint of, because it's all in different, like the BOP in New Mexico's out of a different thing than the BOP in New York. I mean,
they're feudal society. They have their own little baronies, and then nobody's allowed on there. Nobody can film. Nobody can do anything. BOP's its own little. They have actual sovereign nation status anywhere they are.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. Of course, we couldn't get away with shit, and like the whole. I mean, what's his name? Epstein. He died in the place I worked, so I know that facility really well because I was there for a while. You know, and those 2 cops got railroaded.
Yeah.
You know, you got one of the highest profile inmates in the entire prison system. Probably at the moment, he was the highest profile inmate. They take him out
to the powers that be. Yeah.
They stick him. If he was on 9 South, I'd have said, okay, that makes sense. He was on suicide watch because 9 South, we called it the hole.
Yeah.
It was 23-hour lockdown, and when we let him out, we would just let him walk around the tier for an hour. Then we'd lock him back up. So when a guy, I had to do a suicide watch on this one of the 93 bomber guys. So I had to sit outside his cell, look at him through his freaking feeding tray. Oh my God, you want to hear about funny? I had a bad hangover because it was a Saturday morning, okay, and I'd been out Friday night. I left work the day before at 4 in the afternoon, and I went to Farrell's Bar, and I left Farrell's Bar at about 4 o'clock in the morning, okay? I got home, basically took a shower, changed my clothes, got back on the train, and went back to work. I mean, it was a pretty wild night. But anyway, so I was there sitting there, watching this guy through his feeding cell, writing down every 15 minutes. Inmate is sleeping on his right side. You know, 8:15, inmate continues to sleep on his right side. 8:19, inmate rolled over. Inmate is now sleeping on his left side.
Yeah.
So, you know, they had Epstein on 9 North, which is just a regular tier. It's pretty high security inmate there, you know. But he was on like a normal housing unit, and I guess they stuck him in a cell with some guy who was I guess he was ex-cop, but he was also
murder,
murder for hire type of guy, you know. And of course he was a cop, you know. So he had connections in law enforcement. How hard is it for, you know, Hillary and Bill to have Epstein suicided in prison? It's
harder
not.
to be for Trump to do it. They both have reason.
But here's the thing: the staffing shortage. I don't know if you ever, you know, I'm sure you did pay attention to the hacks when you were in. You know.
Oh yeah, of course. One for every 500 people. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, for us, because of the nature of the facility we were in, we were basically a county jail. Everybody there was on trial for something.
Yeah. They had more people than those ones. Yeah.
Going to court, you know. Because we were right next to the court building in Lower Manhattan. We were right across the street from police headquarters. Okay. But you watch the hacks. How many times did you see your hack stay in for an extra shift? You know?
No.
On our, when I was there, our lieutenant, if you were doing overtime, he would move you off your unit. Okay. And he brings, even like, I got stuck a lot. Because my relief guy at midnight, I don't know what his problem was, but he was either late or absent like 30% of the time. So the lieutenant would call me. He'd be like, hey, Mr. Graham, we got to make you make money tonight. And I'm like, motherfucker, you know, I want to go home. So it was one night I get a call. It's 12 o'clock. I'm waiting. It's 12:30. I'm waiting. I don't hear shit. Now it's like 2:30 in the morning. I'm waiting, and I get a call from Lieutenant. He says, "We got to make you make money." I said, "I've been here since 8 a.m. I already did an 8-hour overtime shift." He's like, "Are you kidding me?" And I said, "No." So he had the cleaning detail shut down, and he took the hack who was supervising the cleaners. He says, "Send your cleaners back to the second floor," because that's where the cadre guys were. And he says, "You're going up. You're going to take over for me." He came up and took over for me, because this guy didn't show up. So anyway, you got the highest profile inmate in the entire prison system on 9 North. Who do you send up? You send up one of the admin people. Now, mind you, the girl who's making copies, everybody who works in a federal prison has been trained as a correctional officer, okay? It's like the Marines. You're infantry first, and then you do whatever. Everybody's trained as a correctional officer. Everybody learns to shoot a gun and fight and all the fucking nasty shit. Even the doctors, the nurses, the PAs, the lawyers, the secretaries, the freaking guys who flip the hamburgers, okay? They have to go to the academy and learn all shit. But they took an admin person, stuck him in a uniform, put him up there with Epstein, okay, on the unit. And then they took some guy who'd done double shifts. He was on like his 4th double shift that week. Well, New York City, it's not like you get in your car and 15 minutes later you're home. No, New York City, if you live in the city, you can't drive into Manhattan. It's alien, and then you can't park. So you got to take the subway. So now you've got at least an hour each way from the time you walk out your door to the time you get to your job. It's just taking the subway, mass transportation. And it's not like it's a nice, enjoyable trip where you're sitting there listening to Howard Stern drinking a cup of coffee. So this guy, we had dudes who had 2-hour commutes to work. So they did a double shift. They drive 2 hours home. They take a shit, a shower, shave, sleep for 2 hours, get back in their car and drive back to the freaking joint. You're going to put people like that up on a unit with Epstein?
Everything. The whole story is unbelievable. The whole story is absolutely unbelievable. The camera went out. Oh no, the camera just stopped working for some reason. And even though there's people that were in the shoe they're in cells next to him that have reported that there was screaming going on. He was screaming himself while he broke his neck bones. Even the neck bones are broken from strangulation. They can be broken from hanging yourself. Only if you drop. Yeah, they only break if you drop like 6 feet. That's when they break. But if you're just leaving the lean forward trick where you die that way, no. He was killed. It's given. But everybody just dropped it. Some new scandal came up and everybody just went, oh, drop it. That's the thing, is the attention span is so short in this country that they can release the truth. I think they can say bullshit like that and people believe it. Regularly.
If you've noticed, you had Epstein, then you heard nothing about it because all you heard about was impeachment. That ugly fucking bitch going, smiling. I'm going to impeach Donald Trump. Shove it up your fucking ass. Why are you happy about it? You should be disgusted if you're impeaching the president.
She's a horrible person, yeah, but they work together. Her, Trump, Schumer. It's all one big. Trust me, the whole fight is just to keep people polarized. They're all making money and they're all bipartisan about greed.
I get you. That's the point I was making was not about to leave. It was that they covered that. They didn't cover Epstein. Then, of course, coronavirus took off after. That's the big story after. The Trump
impeachment. Yeah, no, it's all done. It's all planned. It's all done. It's all programmed. It's all out there. Just think about on 9/11, the BBC reporter standing in front of the World Trade Center 7 building saying it already fell. Saying, oh yeah, the Brothers building fell. No one was expecting it, blah, 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 blah. And it's still involved in 20 minutes because she was early. It's sometimes they make mistakes and you see it. But for the most part, people just blow that off and nobody's going to even realize that the 3rd building fell that day. So yeah, and the NIST in its 5th iteration of the report, 5th iteration of the 9/11 report, what happened? They finally admitted that the buildings fell at free fall speed.
Who's Angela Ruffin? She says,
she's a friend of mine, yeah. She's a friend of mine.
Hi, Angela Ruffin.
But hear me out. So the NIC, the current iteration. Shut the fuck up for a second. It just said hi. Oh, that's all. No,
no,
the fifth,
I'm adding her as a friend. So
right. But okay, so the fifth iteration of this report finally says that at least Building 7 felt free fall speed. And what
yeah.
kills me is everyone, oh yeah, but then they come up with this excuse about how like the interior of the building was falling, and that's why he was able to do it. If I took the guy that wrote that report and I threw him out a 100-story window, would he reach free fall speed with no support underneath him? No, but hear me out.
Hold on, I gotta hit.
Turn the volume off.
Yeah, no, I know. I switched from.
But would that guy ever achieve free fall speed 9.8 meters per second squared on the way down? Unsupported, completely unsupported, just falling freely.
I'm rusted. I'm rusty on my physics.
No, he wouldn't. He never would, because he would hit terminal velocity because there's wind resistance.
Right.
The only way to make something fall at 9.8 meters per second squared is to have a vacuum. That's how buildings are demolished. They create a vacuum inside to fall. The only way that what the NIST is saying is possible is if it had a vacuum inside of it. It had to have been. You cannot fall in an atmosphere at that speed. But they said it felt that speed. They finally admitted to it because everybody else has proven that it felt that speed. But they're still saying it was a too small fire on the 12th floor that caused the whole thing. The boiler exploded.
I don't know. How much empirical evidence has been gathered.
Tons.
No, but I'm saying on buildings actually collapsing in a
I can show you. The buildings fall. Buildings do fall. First off, steel buildings, steel structures like that don't fall. We burned them up. There was one in England that burned up a few years ago. Burned up, completely incinerated every bit of flammable material in the building. Burned hot for days. Did not collapse. You know why?
Why
Didn't
not?
get hot enough. No, there's tons of empirical evidence. We've been designing buildings this way for years. We know how to build buildings. We know what knocks them down, and we know how to blow them up. We know all this shit. There's plenty of empirical evidence. Normally what happens is like path of least resistance will be followed. That's a simple rule of physics. So if the top of the building, and you see that chunk fall up, it hits the ground as dust. What the fuck happened? And the entire building, the buildings return to dust. That would never happen. They have buildings where they fuck up the demolition, it goes chink, it falls over on the building next to it. That's what happens.
Well, that's really what should have happened, because
that's what had happened if the laws of physics had been obeyed, and if what the stories are telling us happened.
Right, and if what they're saying is that it caused a structural failure right there in the building, it should have, like, you know how you notch a tree before you take it down?
Mm-hmm.
That's what the plane would have done. It would have basically been the notch in the tree.
Well, there's no part of the plane other than the engines. It's hard enough to even damage the steel. The aluminum is just going to shred like it did. The fireball on the outside of the building was where all the gas went.
If you ever were in the World Trade Center, and I was in there many times. I ran a job like on the 100 and something floor.
Yeah, no, I've been in the building. Yeah,
and the wind would blow and shit would fall off of people's shelves.
Yeah, 70 feet was a lateral movement. Yeah.
Well, I just said to the other project manager I was with on the job, I was like, I said, is there a fucking ghost in here? He says, no, that's just the building moving. Yeah. I go, the building's moving enough to knock shit off.
Has to, yeah.
And that's what he said. He says, yeah, it has to sway, because if it didn't have the sway, it would just get blown
fracture,
off.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Well, it makes me feel a lot better. I'm going to go fucking, downstairs to Sparrows, get a slice of pizza and get back on the goddamn R train, go back up down to my third story office, because that building probably won't get blown over in a goddamn, tornado. So regardless, yeah, we're being real. I mean, this whole thing with Flynn is just like, oh my God, how far up does it go? And really,
Obama had a kill list. He was murdering American citizens abroad. Come on, dude. Yeah. I mean, how much further does it get? Flynn got fucked with. Same way that the FBI fucks with everybody they arrest. But the president at that point in time was using drones, which is the ultimate form of terrorism, man. These people are living in countries where our drones fly over and kill people. And the Pentagon has admitted that we only hit 2% of intended targets, and 2% is within the margin of error for their collection of data, which means we don't hit any of the targets they mean to. We're just blowing up weddings and shit like that. That's fucking terrorism, dude. These people have been, so they're kids that are adults now. They've lived constantly under the fear of our drones at all times. Think about that.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's true. What's your definition? What's your definition of terrorist?
The use or threatened use of violence in order to cause political change. That's the definition of terrorism. That's what we do.
Right. So I guess your definition of terrorism is relative to your point of view. Mine is no, whichever side's doing it. Yeah. If you're the bomber, okay, the guy you're bombing is going to say you're the bad guy.
Yeah, right and wrong has always been relative to the position, which side of the fence you're throwing rocks from, dude. That's a given. But if you step back and you stop throwing rocks, you realize that both sides are probably wrong. But if we're in their backyard throwing rocks at them, our fault. It's our bad.
Sure. You know,
And if they're over here doing that to us, they're bad. But nobody invades us. Nobody attacks us. 9/11 was not 19 guys from a cave.
it probably wasn't. You know,
it couldn't have been. No.
It had to have.
The laws of physics are very simple. Buildings cannot hit free fall speed through themselves. Through 900 million tons of structural steel, all supporting itself, it's not going to hit free fall speed. It won't even hit free fall speed through the fucking air. And the NIST's admitted it hit free fall speed, but they won't admit. They come up with this stupid ass, or it fell in on itself. You can see it falling, and that pulls it down. I mean, gravity and atmosphere and all that shit, like everything pulls down. Yeah, it's called attraction. That's what happened. Yeah, we know how that works, and it's not going to hit 9.8 meters per second squared ever. Not in a million years, and a million times, and a billion times, or a trillion times will it ever hit that velocity unless you create a vacuum on the inside of the building. Sorry. Simple physics, basic physics. We've known this all along. They just lie. They just come up with bullshit stories, and people go, "Oh, that sounds reasonable." It's not reasonable.
There was that one guy who said he surfed down the building as it was collapsing. He basically
never heard the guy. No.
Yeah, he just ended up at the. I
really doubt that, considering everything. There was nothing. They found nothing bigger from the buildings. They found nothing bigger than like this hair clip. This hair clip would have been broken in half from the force. There was that much force put into the destruction of the buildings. Nobody surfed down anything, dude. There's no way.
Yeah, well,
plus they felt the free fall, which means he did hit the ground at 9.8 meters per second squared on a bunch. There was no slow down on the way down.
There were firemen who they found nothing of them except for maybe a finger.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, no, tons of people they found nothing of. Yeah.
It's vaporized.
Crushed. Yeah, but a building weakening and slowly sagging and falling over, like they say is what happened. Is that going to crush everything into the tiny little? Is it going to cause it all to turn to dust? No, it takes explosives to do that.
Well,
blew up. It didn't fall down.
When that much shit falls on top, it's like being squished like a bug, but you're being squished with 3,000 other bugs. Yeah. So it just ends up being one big red gelatinous ball of goo.
Yeah.
So regardless of Flynn and Epstein and 9/11, I'm just sitting here questioning reality, because the only reality I know is what I drove outside and saw today, and everybody looked fine to me except the stores are closed. You know,
okay. New York has come out with it. New York City they've tested so far in testing. They found that 24% of the city has had and gotten over SARS-CoV-2.
Yeah.
There's been 20,000 deaths. Those 20,000 deaths aren't necessarily COVID-19 deaths. They're not necessarily SARS-CoV-2 deaths, because a cough in New York qualifies as a COVID-19 death. The guidelines are been published. They're out there. All you need is one epidemiological and one clinical check mark, and that's all you need. So does he have a cough? Yes. Are you in a hospital? Yes. That qualifies for COVID-19. So 20,000 people have died in New York, but of those, how many were SARS-CoV-2? I don't know. But even if it's all 20,000, if every single one of them was legitimately actually died of SARS-CoV-2, that would be 1% death rate. Well, 1% of the people, that would be 1% of the people infected with it died from it, and that is less than the flu.
I've been a little bit bummed out this whole week, because I talked to my one aunt last week, and she was like, "Well, your Aunt Lois died," and on my videos I write about Aunt Lois. She was one of my favorite aunts, and my Aunt Lois, said, Jesus, like she told me. She says Jesus, wouldn't hate somebody because like they're trans.
Yeah.
Jesus wouldn't do that. That's a bunch of reformed, fucking Christians, 2,000 years of Catholicism.
The self-righteous religious elite will always be the self-righteous religious elite. They killed Jesus, for fuck's sake.
Right.
Yeah, they hate people. That's what they do.
Anyway, so Aunt Diane tells me, she says, "Yeah, well, Aunt Lois died a month ago." Mm-hmm. I'm like, okay, I've talked to you several times. You think you might have mentioned this fact to me, considering it's slightly less than minor. Yeah. Okay, like when one of your relatives dies, you think you get a phone call. I don't get a phone call about anything ever. I'm wondering, it's like, oh, when my dad dies, you gonna call me, or are you just gonna be like, hey, you got any shit in the barn you got to take out because we're selling the fucking house? I go, why? Oh, Daddy died. What the fuck? Anyway, Aunt Lois died. No funeral, no nothing. Now, mind you, Aunt Lois had cancer. She had a lot of problems. But yeah, what are they saying? Corona, COVID. So Aunt Lois probably would have died anyway, regardless of the coronavirus. I haven't seen her. It was about a little over a year at my Uncle John's funeral. And I told you what happened to him.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I mean, I found out what happened to him, not from my relatives, but from people from the volunteer fire department who were talking about him at a party I was playing. And I was like, really? So what happened to that guy? And they're like, well, he didn't look like he even stopped or hit the brakes. It looked like he drove through traffic, went through a stop sign, but it looked like he did it on purpose. I was like, oh, okay. They're like, and I was like, oh, that's my uncle.
Yeah. But okay, so the point is with the COVID-19 listing,
COVID-19 is there. So anybody who's died in New York City for the last 2-3 months died from coronavirus.
Yes. Anybody that died anywhere near a medical professional after seeing a doctor in an ambulance, anything like that. And also, once it became an actual emergency and pandemic, anyone in New York City or New Jersey or any other hotspot like that, it qualifies epidemiologically because they're near a hotspot. And all they need is a cough, shortness of breath. Well, let's see. You're dying of cancer. Do you have shortness of breath? Absolutely. Bing, got it. And it works like this. I put this up on Facebook earlier. I put, and it's very basic thing is the difference between from and with. If everybody with herpes who dies in the next 2 months was listed as dying from herpes, it would look like the end of the fucking species. Millions of people dying because we lose 7,800 people in this country every day. Now, if you just take the numbers and go, well, these 5,000 of them died from this one thing. Like, what is it? Herpes is like 30% of the population has herpes now. So 30% of people dying all of a sudden are dying from herpes. It would scare the shit out of people, and that's what they've done. And and those people actually have herpes. They've been tested for herpes. Most of the people have never been tested for SARS-CoV-2.
Right.
So,
well, I totally get you. My grandfather died with prostate cancer. He had prostate cancer for years. I mean, I remember my grandfather shuffling down from his bedroom to the bathroom 8 or 9 times a night. Mm-hmm. He died when he was 93. They didn't say he died of prostate cancer. Now, of course, Lemmy did die of prostate cancer. That's what fucking killed him.
Yeah.
The cancer in his prostate.
We can blame that one on rock and roll.
Fucking that guy, his prostate probably got more action than anybody in the history of, well.
It was probably just tired. Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably what happened. It died of exhaustion, right? So I hear you. I think from what I can see with my own 2 eyes, and like in the last few months, I've been from like here to your house and back.
Yeah. Across the country, yeah.
I haven't seen anything majorly wrong happening.
It's something majorly wrong, but it's the effect, not the cause. It's the insanity. Like New Mexico is now locked down. Like Mexico finally, like today, it's locked down. We now know that this thing is nowhere near as we would lock down for 2 weeks. Remember, 2 weeks was all we were supposed to lock down for. 2 weeks so the hospitals could get caught up and we get material supplies and stuff like that. And then we just go through it because everybody's going to catch it and the death rate's going to be the death rate if we stay in lockdown for a year or not. And this whole thing of waiting for a vaccine, we might never have one. I'm not going to wait around forever. But now at this point, we know it's not like that. We know it's not the case. We know people are not. It's not that deadly. It's less deadly than the flu. It's not as deadly as the flu. It's less deadly than the fucking flu. We know this now. And now in Mexico, you have to wear a face mask outside. The park next to me, this is the first day in 3 months it hasn't been full of people all day. There's no one there. I don't know what happened this morning, but I heard some shit this morning. I think maybe the cops chased everybody off, and they're cops running around grabbing people for being in parks, for doing anything they should be doing, because there's no fucking right. There's no fucking right in the Mexico Constitution to lock us down and close businesses. All this has been is one huge, massive, small business fucking kill. I think that's part of the main reason of it is because when you want to get infinite growth in a finite system, like our capitalist system wants to do, you have to keep destroying other sections of the economy and other people because you cannot get infinite growth in a finite fucking system because it's finite. But then, so now they've destroyed look at how many fucking small businesses are out of business. The only restaurants that survived are the chains like Chili's. Brinker International, I'm sure, is doing just fine because they got all the PPP loans, they got all the SBA loans, and they got the trillions of dollars from the thing. But all the small businesses are gone. They've removed independent small businesses, completely destroyed them. My business will keep up because I have $100 in overhead a month. That's it. I'll stay in business just to fuck with them. So I didn't close down. But fuck, I tried to get the fucking PPP loans, tried to get all that shit. No, there's no way in hell. They were doing shit that was so shady to deny me too. Like, oh, your personal credit history, you don't have enough credit history to get this. I'm like, I'm a C Corp. That's the person. Van Leeuwen is the person that you should be looking at the credit of, not me. I just work here. Right, look at my credit.
I mean, you just proved my point. You remember the moon landing conspiracy? Like, oh yeah, it was just all done on a movie
on the stage, and we couldn't have made it to the Van Allen belts. That's the only thing I can say about that. It's impossible.
How do we know all this shit isn't made up? I'm not saying it's not. I'm not saying it's not real. But as far as I know, I mean, I don't know anyone who's actually gotten or died of the coronavirus, or I haven't been told. Now, the thing is, I would say media blackout, right? it's, and hence my joke, I drink and I black out watching media, of course, that night you got really mad. I feel really bad about that because I was just being a dick, and I wasn't drunk even. I was sitting there watching.
Okay,
watching
you. We
YouTube.
don't be talking about that.
No, I'm not. I'm not going to get into it, but I was watching YouTube, and I was just writing shit that I'm seeing on YouTube. Well, this is going on with this one. This one's going on with this one. This one's going on with this one. Well, here's this conspiracy, and here's this conspiracy. I'm just like, is any of it real?
No. I mean, it's not. It's a Hegelian, like I said, it's a Hegelian dialectic. They present the thesis and the antithesis. They present the problem and the solution. They present the Trump and the resistance. They cover both sides. There's neither one of these sides is. If there was one side that was actually out for anything other than the plan, shit would be getting exposed a lot more. But you always see that Congress, the impeachment, they went after the dumbest things they could possibly go after Trump for. They went after shit that they knew you could not get impeached for, and they knew it was going to be the most arguable point possible, just to keep everybody arguing. It's a distraction. It's all the only reason they did any of it.
Well, Putin actually said last week that he actually supported Hillary. So
of course he did. Of course he did. But
they're the communists. So I mean,
no, he's not a. Putin's not a communist, dude. He's not a communist. No, and neither is Hillary.
Putin's not a communist. Putin's a fucking criminal.
Yeah, so it's Hillary. See how that works? But they don't have ideological beliefs. They're just going for the money. That's all we have. We don't have anybody with ideological beliefs. I'm sorry, but Bernie, man, I'm sorry, but why is he not unsuspended his campaign? Why is he not fighting? He knows that this is an existential issue. He knows that the problems we're facing right now are existential. And he's said it many times, and he's the one who convinced most of the people following him that it's existential. And then to just, well, I guess it's not worth fighting for. Existential things should be worth fighting for, because when faced with extinction, any fucking alternative is preferable. If they fight for it sometimes.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. When I was in the Army, we used to say, what's the difference between a soldier and a mercenary?
Pay.
And that's what we all said, about $1,000 a day.
It's more than that now, but yeah.
That's probably more. Well, the going rate when I got laid off from the phone company the first year I worked there, and I was looking for a job. I mean, I had a pregnant chick living in the other room, having a kid coming on the way. I was like, I'd do something. And I was talking to one of my friends that I was in the Tent Mountain Division with, and he was like, you want a job? He says it pays $1,000 a day. I said, dude, I'm not in the shape I was in, 8 years ago.
You don't have to be.
And he says, dude, can you drive a truck? I go, yeah. He says, can you still shoot a machine gun? I go, yeah. He says, you're perfect.
Yeah.
And of course he knows I'm fucking absolutely crazy. So, he was like, he says, you'd fit right in.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, what do I have to do? And they're like, well, you only have to drive a truck through the most dangerous freaking stretch of highway in the entire world. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I think, I'm going to stay home with the baby on this one, and maybe go back to work in the nursing home, do something like that. Drive it. But so that's the thing. They're mercenaries, these people. They are criminal mercenaries. I don't consider mercenaries really criminals.
The GS4 is, yeah.
Yeah, there's like executive solutions.
Well, they're all like, they basically merged what the Pinkertons and BlackRock, and they're merged into GS4, which is like the third largest army in the world now. We've got like 60,000 of their troops on American soil right now.
Right, and so why should we be afraid of Bill Gates? You don't think he's got 50,000 armed guys?
He's got the money. He's got the money. He's got the money to do anything he wants to. And Bill Gates, yeah, I'm actually doing a chapter right now on just why people don't trust him. And there's some fucking good reasons not to.
Well, you can't trust anybody with that much influence.
No, you can't, especially when they're going for more.
And that's the thing. They are drunk with power. They are addicted to power.
They have progressive accumulation disorder. It's the same illness that the hoarder lady down the street who just died when the newspaper collection she had collapsed on her. The same illness. The only difference is that she didn't take the human race with her.
Yeah, well, that's exactly it.
It's the same accumulation. Get more, need more, want more, get more, need more, want more. Completely irrational, and that's why we have what we have right now. Because we respect that for some reason. Sociopaths and progressive accumulation disorder, and we're respecting it. Like, oh, that's what you should be when you grow up, kids. I've been telling my kids since day one. I was like, don't become like that because you'll let a pitchfork. I mean it for nothing else.
I completely understand it, because we had guys in the phone company who would have fucking run you over to get 2 hours of overtime. And I asked my buddy Pete one time, I go, why are these dudes like that? And he says, Rob, they've gotten addicted to the money.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just the money, just the numbers. And it doesn't mean anything at that point. It doesn't mean anything in the first place. It's all fake. But what are they doing? They're sacrificing what for what? Us for the.
When I went to work it was Bell Atlantic at the time. When you start out in a union job, we were in progression, so I was making like $6.75 an hour. But they're dangling that carrot right in front of my face.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, in 5 years you'll be making over $1,000 a week, and I'm like, yeah, that's what I want. I want $1,000 a week.
Mm-hmm. To pay off the shit I bought that I couldn't pay for.
That's the thing. These guys, and I got into it. I was like, well, I got a credit card. Well, it's okay. I'm going to be doing 4 hours of overtime for the next 3 months. So I might as well buy this now because I want it. I'll just pay it off. I'll pay it off in September, but I want this thing now.
Yeah. And that's how we're trained. That's a good feeling. That's good. That's progress. That's consumption. That's all we do is consume. George Carlin's last stand-up bit wasn't funny so much, unless you have really dark sense of humor. But he's right. What you're doing is credit. Yes, you can buy shit you don't need with money you don't have and spend the rest of your life paying 18% on fucking something that cost $12.95 and you didn't even like it when you got home because it was shit quality. Yeah.
Exactly. And that's, my credit card statement balance is usually zero. Oh, by the way, do you like your Instapot? Have you used it yet?
Yes, I have. I have used it. Yes, it's cool.
It was funny. I got a charge on my last bill, and it was like $80, and it didn't say Amazon. It said something else, and I was like, what the fuck is this? Because I said I paid this off. I should have a zero balance, but because it didn't even register in my head. One night I was sitting on my computer and I was looking at them, and they actually went on sale. Instead of being, I don't know, $90, they were like 79 or something. So I was like, I got to send her one now because they finally went on sale.
Yeah, in the middle with the Revolution or Civil War, right on the brink of it, you send me a pressure bomb. Yay, thanks.
Well, you never know when it's gonna come in handy, honey.
Exactly.
I tell you. And it doesn't draw a lot of power, so you could run it off of like a small foldable solar array. So you could make a nice warm home cooked meal for the kids, while
Oh, when the cities burn down, we'll all be warm. When the cities burn down, we'll all stay warm.
Society's collapsing around you. But have you used it yet? Have you tried?
No, I've used it. I've used it a few times. Yeah, I put the water in just to test it out the first time to see what kind of a pressure bomb it'd be. And yeah, so I called the kids down because I was like, guys, I don't want to die alone. Come stand with me. Let's watch the Instapot.
Well, you have to pull the little valve.
Oh no, I know it works. It's a pretty simple device.
I bought a food dehydrator last night.
Then you use Instant Pot to repressure the moisture back into it.
That's exactly what I'm going to do. Believe it or not.
Food rehydrator.
I'm gonna dehydrate all my vegetables because that's the only way I can store them. Okay, because I don't have like a cool, dry place to keep my potatoes. Because this place is way too damp, way too humid. My base necks warp overnight, and I could set them up, and it's done. So I don't know where I would store potatoes. Okay, because everywhere that I know is damp. The other thing is,
just sounds nasty. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Right, and the other thing is, when if I dehydrate it, it's going to cut the weight down by like over 50%. So you can store a 15-pound bag of potatoes once you dehydrate it in like a 1-gallon, canning jar. A 15-pound bag of potatoes in a 1-gallon canning, and that's loose packed. I mean, if you wanted to pack in there tight, I'm sure you could pack 30 pounds into one. If you wanted crushed potato, dried.
You can make big mashed potatoes out of it later. That's how they make that stuff. It's a decoction, right. Yeah.
That is actually how they do it. So I figured out that's what I'm going to do. Well, I got this one. It comes with 8 trays. I got it, the extra 2, and I got 2. So I got 8 plus 4. I got 12 trays. But you can stack 30 trays on this thing. Mm-hmm. Okay. So, I mean, really, I was watching a video on YouTube. She had an older model of this dehydrator. She did dehydrated 15 pounds of potatoes. I think she only used 8 trays. Mm-hmm. Okay, slicing them and so I'm just like, okay, it takes 12 hours. I guess I'm going to be dehydrating shit for a while. Yeah. But I like I said, I got my Mylar bags right here. I got my oxygen absorbers. And, so I'm just going to store it long term. And then, yes, I'm going to chuck it in the fucking Instapot, which I'm going to be running off of my little fold-out solar panel and and that's how I'm gonna cook my dried stuff. Yes.
You'll need a battery to be in the mix. You'll need the solar panel to feed the battery, and then use that to run the Instant Pot. That's the way the system works. Yeah.
I got it at Harbor Freight. It works.
Yeah.
The
wish you can go to in person. I love that place.
Right. Well, I got it at Harbor Freight. It can't really run one of my tube amplifiers, but you know what? It can run like an old stereo. So I was pretty happy about that. Like sitting there with listening to it, I was like, "Wow, this is cool." I was surprised that thing, the old stereo draws like 6 watts. I was like, "Wow!" But anyway, the Instapot doesn't draw that much. Of course, the dehydrator is like 1,000 watts. So I don't know what kind of amperage it's going to draw and what kind of watts you can draw. But anyway, so
that just lay the stuff out in the sun. Yeah, we'll try to do the same thing.
Well, that's the thing. We're in uncertain times. So, I was a Boy Scout, and Boy Scout motto was be prepared.
I always thought it was don't tell anybody about this.
Right. Sit on my lap and don't tell anyone.
We're like the Roman Catholic Church without the funny outfits. Wait, no, we got funny outfits. Never mind.
Well, it's like the new Boy Scout campfire stories. It's like, and then after being forced to suck every throbbing black cock on the cell block, little Billy remembered his Boy Scout training and loosened his sphincter muscles.
Oh, good God, it's fucking horrible. But it's also very, very true. Yeah, that's a bad joke.
True. I know, but it's awful, but it's true. And when I think about it, I mean, I had some pretty cool Boy Scout leaders. Like my one leader, he was a total drunk. He worked in like on Madison Avenue. He was an ad guy, probably like a madman guy. And every night after the freaking Boy Scout meeting on Friday night, we drop him off at Joe Major's, and he'd sit there and pound drinks till, Boy Scouts would be over at like 9. He'd sit there till like 4 a.m. pounding drinks. And we had a gig there like 5 years later. It's like, "Oh, Mr. McCormick, how you doing?" He says, "Who are you?" I said, "I was one of your Boy Scouts," because he didn't recognize me. I had long hair and stuff. I was skinny then. Mr. Lynn, he was a nice Christian guy. But there were some really weird fucking guys. Like my one friend, he was one of our senior Boy Scouts, and he actually ended up becoming like a professional Boy Scout. Okay. And he was he didn't tell me, but he told another friend of mine who was one of our senior Boy Scouts. He's like, "Yeah, you should see how many freaking, not like there's anything wrong with it, but how many gay dudes are, in like the upper levels of the Boy Scouts." And I was like, "For real?" And he's like, they hide it very well, put it that way. And it was just, they kept it silent for so many years, So I guess it's like the Catholic priesthood,
Yeah, not nearly the length of duration or severity of the Catholic Church, but they try. Their uniforms are a little cheaper, a little sillier. They're not quite as gold throny, but hey, whatever.
Well, the Baden Powell, he was the guy who started the Boy Scouts. He used to encourage the young men to bathe naked.
Yeah, of course he did. No, I came up with this theory on acid when I was in like 9th grade. I was sitting there and tripping, and I went, "You know what? I think every single white male that's doing anything that has any interest in any involvement in anybody else's kids is trying to fuck them." And I've pretty much been proven right on that one. I have no interest in hanging out with anybody else's kids but my own. No interest whatsoever.
I never really did either. I mean,
I'm not gonna go volunteer for something where I get to go camping with boys, for fuck's sake, no. Because it just sounds horrible. But I guess for them it sounds like that something they're gonna write to penthouse letters later for.
Yeah, well, or either that or like they'll do a video on YouTube like, "I got molested when I was, you said we were all going camping, and
it was just me," and then he pitched a tent. Yeah.
He pitched a tent. That's right. He says, "Of course you can let me suck your little penis, boy. I'm a Boy Scout master." So it's total. I've never been. I mean, I've had girlfriends like this one girl. Oh my God, she had a little baby, like maybe a year and a half old. I changed that kid's diaper not only more than her own father, but probably more than her own goddamn mother. Okay, this girl, we would go out like on a trip to Albany, and the kid diaper would be sagging, sopping wet, and she's like, I forgot to bring.
How the fuck you forget to bring them? I had kids that you don't forget to bring them.
I know. And so the thing was, here I am. I was smart enough to have taken a couple of diapers and actually put them in the little pocket behind the seat of my car, just in case, So I was like, "Don't worry, there's one in my car." And then she said to me, "Why do you have diapers in your car?" I said,
"Because you're a spacey bitch."
for moments just like this, you moron. Yeah, that's exactly what I said to her. You know, and for so long I put up with her bullshit, you know, taking care of her kid. And you know what? I saw her sister one time. She's like, yeah, the little girl actually does miss you. And I was like, I'm sure she does. She's probably got a fucking diaper rash up to the back of her neck at this point. You know, so anyway, yeah, I stay away from other people's children until they're at least, you know, 15, 16 years old.
25, 30, yeah.
Well, I mean, when they're 25 and 30, they're actually in the band. You know,
yeah,
when
exactly.
they're 15 and 16 years old, I basically give them advice. You suck. You better practice because you're never going to make it. You know,
We're gonna go with positive reinforcement.
That's what I do. I tell these kids the truth. You know, I'm watching this whole thing about graduation. I remember my son's graduation was this big thing. I was really proud of him that he made it. He got this award, like he got an award for like overcoming diversity. Like he overcame more diversity than any kid in his school. And the teacher looked at me. I never met her before. I never got invited to any of his parent-teacher shit because his mother wouldn't let me go. You know, I had to, you should have seen the shit I had to do to be able to pick my kid up from school. Her boyfriend could pick him up, but I couldn't.
I did have to chase my ex once a year. I'd have to drop everything, liquidate everything, move homeless to another state and build back up from scratch once a year for 4 years, 5 years, something like that.
Yeah.
So I had that problem, but yeah, eventually I got custody of my kids. I didn't never stop working on it.
Your kids are so well adjusted that like you should have your own parenting channel.
No, I don't think it ever worked. No.
I mean, yeah, of course. The
this
kids,
is luck. This is luck. That's all.
I love the story like that you told about how like you walked into school and the kids were like, "Oh my God, no, don't!" And I was like, "Don't be embarrassed," you know. It's
they were in second grade. They were like, "Oh my God, oh my God." It was just that I was like that when I realized that I just showed up to school in a panic because one of them was sick and I looked like a hooker. I didn't look like. I mean, I was wearing a uniform for work. I was 5-inch heels, mini skirt that was basically a belt, half shirt. That's it.
You look like a hooker, but you're a hot hooker.
It's good. Yeah, there was quite no question there, but just that whole fact that I got all the way through the school, like the parking lot on the other side, walked all the way down the hallway, other hallway, and about the time I'm halfway down the hallway, I suddenly realized I clicked up my heels, and I realized that it was when Morgan looked up. Morgan, the nurse looked at Morgan. Morgan looked at her and went, "And my daddy doesn't look like other daddies." And I went, "Oh, fucking whoops."
Yeah. Who's this 6'4" blonde with like, you know, yeah, the platform shoes I could just.
Oh yeah. No, it was a good outfit, but yeah, and then I had to walk all the way back.
Well, I
got a phone call saying he's sick. You need to come get him right away. And I didn't even think about it. I was already in the car, went from the hotel to the school to pick him up, and that's how that worked out.
Well, they gave my kid this adversity because he like overcame adversity. Well, they put my son in special ed because like he wasn't doing so good in reading. So they said to his mother, like, you should, you know, maybe read. That's not my job. That's not my job to teach my kid. It's your job to teach my kid. So she told him that. Well, anyway, my mother had him going to reading lessons every Friday. He would, you know, my kid's a good reader. He's not stupid. He's just seen from what he's learned from me the futility of it all. You know what I mean? So I watch these kids. Oh, we're getting out of high school. We got all this hope and everything. And yeah, you know, some of you kids are going to grow up, you know, to be doctors and nuclear physicists and politicians. But most of you are going to end up, you know, being sheet metal workers. Okay?
No, they're not anymore. That job is way higher than we have right now.
Well, actually, sheet metal, diesel mechanic. I told my kid, go be a diesel mechanic because you'll be making more money than your cousin who is a doctor in the long run. Plus, my mother would have paid for him to go to school. I still hope he does go. Diesel. My father's friend, another old guy who died, his grandson went to diesel mechanic school, got out of school, was 21 years old, got a job. He drives around the country working on fire trucks. He's got his own little work truck, stays in hotels every night, gets per diem. Plus, he's making like $55 an hour and then overtime.
Yeah.
What the hell is buzzing here?
I have no idea. I just heard something go bing. I gotta wrap this up in about 6 minutes though, but yeah.
Okay, well, anyway, yeah, I've been on for about an hour, so I don't know where everybody else. It's good talking to you.
Good talking to you. Yeah.
You know, maybe next week we can figure out how to put it back up on YouTube.
No, I'll get the video go up on YouTube shortly. Here, I'm just gonna put the beginning and ending on it, and load it to YouTube. Don't tell me the new password now, but do send it to me.
I'll send it to you. I'll send.
Yeah.
I'll send. Well, actually, I'll send you an email on Facebook once we go not live, just because.
Oh yeah.
Actually, how about this? I'll text it to you.
That works. Yeah.
I'll text it to you.
Yeah, it'll be up in like an hour.
So what happened with YouTube this week too? Did you notice that YouTube was down on? I think it was Thursday.
I didn't notice, but I did notice that Facebook and YouTube have both come out and said publicly that they will be deleting our marketing. Like on Facebook, they're marking the things that don't pass their totally fake fact checkers. But honestly, I'm thinking that whole like this has information that isn't true is like the new PMRC label. Like if a video doesn't have that labeled on Facebook, fucking don't watch it, because they're just lying to you, and they're lying to you the same way these guys are lying to you. But if the video tells any bit of truth, they're gonna be marking you with that label. So just look at it like a fucking parental guidance fucking sticker. There's the good ones.
Well, anyway, I'll send you a text so you can put it up on YouTube. But I wanted to tell you, you did get a comment from some guy. I think this guy's in love with you. He said, "Oh, tell Andy she's so hot." And I'm like, "Yeah, I will, man. You know, cool." So you got a fan out there. You definitely got a fan out there.
I once started a cult, and I did lead like 2,000 friends on Facebook recently. But yeah, well, not recently, but the Tamir Rice thing. But yeah, I got fans. I got stalkers. It's great, lovely. Tell me that like help me pay rent or something. That'd be great. Sure, come on in, just pay rent.
I don't consider myself a stalker. I consider myself a professional crazed fan.
Yeah, that works. Yeah.
You know, my thing is, it's like I am so inattentive. I couldn't be a stalker ever because I have so much going on inside my own head. It's like, you got
to keep somebody else's schedule. Fuck that.
Well, that's the thing. I can't keep someone else's schedule because I can't even keep mine because I don't have one anymore.
What if they jog? It's over.
I have to exercise, and from just sitting around, my legs have like really atrophied for the last few years. It starts with back problems, and then you don't get up and walk and exercise. So it's like when you do, like today, my back hurt from bending over planting, seed potatoes.
Oh yeah. That's why your back hurt. Yeah, with all the slaps on it. Yeah, of course not.
His balls was slapping me in the ass. I was like,
you get an ergonomic position to take that. Honestly, trust me, I know these things. You got to be an ergonomic position for that.
Believe me, I know. Trust me, if you don't remember correctly,
ergonomic. Yes, but ergonomic is all I'm saying.
We won't get into that on live television. So, I want you to, if you look, I think it was on our last one. You gotta just look at the comments on a couple.
We'll do. I'll check it out. Yeah.
And you can answer them. Just give them an @ whoever you are, or whatever. Just reply to them. Say, hey, thanks a lot. Check out my whatever.
I'll give them a random string of emojis. That seems to work for people. And I can't read them, but people send them to me all the time.
No,
I don't have a clue what those little things mean.
No, I'm saying promote yourself. Say,
yeah, no, that's right. I get mysterious with the emojis. It's great.
Yeah, well, I'm just letting you know you got a fan out there. I'm not, it's up to you where you want to go with it. You decide your own level of involvement in Fight Club, okay?
Yeah, it's true. That's true. And I'm not going to ask any questions about that. I wouldn't have any qualms about doing what they did. Blow up the credit card companies? Fuck yeah, let's do it. There would never be any moment where I'm like, maybe we shouldn't do this. That would never cross my mind.
Well, anyway, I want you to remember one thing.
Go ahead.
Keep on rocking in the free world, baby.
What free world? Where is it? I lost it. I don't know. Do you have a map?
There is no free world. I like the one guy. He's like, stay armed, carry a weapon. And I'm like, I don't want to tell anyone to like be carrying.
Mylan J even said that. He's like, you don't want a gun, man. You should plan to.
Well, yeah, believe me, when the shit hits the freaking fan.
It's hitting the fan. It's hitting the fan slowly and spraying slowly back. Yeah.
Well,
shit's everywhere. It's a shitstorm.
It's gonna be a mess for a while, and if this mess keeps going, like they said, it's gonna get worse next fall again.
Oh well, no, God damn it! It kills me. But yeah, there will be coronavirus next fall because there has to be, because there's millions of those things. But no, like California's phase 2. What is it? I think they're doing Mexico too. Where like they have to have less than one death in the county for like a week for them to come out of this lockdown, which is utter bullshit because. They have to keep people alive, like everyone alive. Everybody's got to stay alive in that county because you die from anything, they're marking it as COVID-19. So there's no way to come out of lockdown. We should be out of lockdown in Mexico right now. And if we're on the lockdown by next week, fuck it, man. This place will pop off. New Mexico has never had an issue with violence.
No, Mexico's never really had
New Mexico has never had any issue with hostility and violence.
That's what I meant to say. New Mexico. I'm sorry to say the new, but
this place is not peaceful at all. So these will pop up here next week then, because this is nobody's putting up with this shit. Now I hear kids. Now I can hear kids at the park. Now it's now what time is it? Fucking 10 o'clock at night. 10 o'clock at night, and I now hear kids at the park. Finally, they were chased up all day.
All right. Well, look, my battery's dying on my laptop, so it's 12 o'clock here. Thanks everybody who was watching. How many people were watching?
I don't know. I'll know in a second.
2 thumbs up, 3 comments, which one was me, one was you, and one's Andrew Ruffin. But we got 2 likes, so I'm gonna. Can I like it? I'm gonna like it.
What the hell, like it?
All right, got 3. Oh, 3.
Yay.
Guy Roser.
That's my brother.
Oh, that's your brother?
Yeah.
Oh.
We don't really know each other or anything, but yeah, he's my brother. He's like 13 years older than me. Yeah.
And Chaka
is the greatest artist, one of the greatest artists in the world.
Okay.
I love Chaka. He's one who designed. He's one who did my logo, my own personal one with the smiley face. Yeah, he did that, cool. And all kinds of artwork from the others. Yeah, he's incredible.
All right. Well, everybody, thanks for watching. You know, I got it. Oh God, ugly Judge Janine Pirro's on freaking TV.
You can't believe it. Just see if you turn off Fox, you won't be so angry all the time.
Well, I'm actually going to plug my laptop into the HDMI so I can just watch porno now on YouTube all night long.
I'm sure there's Judge Janine porno out there. I'm sure you can see her in porno. She looks like a couple of movies I've seen. She looks like one of the people. Yeah, so check it out.
Well, I was watching that high school, graduation thing. I said, hey, kids, I hate to disappoint you, but your life's probably going to suck. You're going to end up married to one bitch. You're going to have a kid with her, right? She's going to decide that she wants, she'd
be happy and leave you. Yeah.
Right. She likes to sleep with other people who were not you. She loves sex, just not with you. And she's going to take your kids, and you're going to have to give her half your shit and then pay her alimony and child support until those children are 22, 23.
I did not go that route. I went a different route.
Anyway, take care of yourself. I'll talk to you during the week. I got to send you pictures of my potato fields.
Oh, yeah. Also, there's supposed to be a sword or something like that, because, what would be great about now?
I have that. It's a cold steel. It's called the cold steel.
Yeah, no, I know you're talking about it. Yeah, no, I'm just reminding. That's all.
It's a katana. It's a tactical machete.
Yeah, no, I know these. Yeah,
and
fully trained.
I got it. I got the trench coat sitting right here. I got to just wait till I can actually go out and go find some place to ship it.
USPS will pick up. They'll pick up.
Either that, I'm gonna, when this shit's over, I'll probably just go back out there and.
I won't need a weapon then. Hopefully.
I had another idea, and I was actually gonna send it to you.
Okay, let's not say that on this thing right here now. Okay, bye. I'll talk to you later.
All right, bye, honey. Bye.